I saw Holiday in Handcuffs, and Steve, you saw
A Very Merry Toy Story.
A Very Merry Toy Story.
I keep wanting to say A Very Merry Christmas, and I go somewhere else, and I have to like go back and fix Toy Store every single time I try to say it.
All right, which will win?
Are you ready for Movie Versus? Welcome to Movie Versus, the podcast where we pin two terrible movies in an all-out battle for the best of the worst. Here are your hosts, Tyler Lamb, Charlie Pixley, and Steve Shannon. All on Movie Versus!
Hey everybody, this is Movie Versus, the podcast in defense of bad movies. My name is Tyler Lamb. I am one of the hosts. Joined with me, as almost always, is Steve Janik. Steve, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. There was only like one or two times that I did not join you.
Yeah, but I can't say as always because...
That's fair.
Yeah, and then also almost always, Charlie Pixley. What's up, Chuck?
I just want to comment that it's before noon and there are 4 natural lights around this table. That's pretty great.
Yeah,
and my coffee.
Those are beers for those that, because it's not sold everywhere.
No, the beer is for the horses, Charlie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Isn't Natty Light only sold like in our area?
I don't know.
It's not worldwide
Shit,
like us.
Our secret.
It's not international.
I guess technically we are.
Yeah. What, Steve?
I said it's not worldwide like Pitbull is.
Oh, well, no, he is Mr. Worldwide.
I know.
So, and on this episode, we watch movies and try to make bad movies and try to make them sound good. And this week,
this week that did not happen because these were both amazing movies that we will just tell Charlie about.
Yeah, we're convincing Charlie whose is better. And I saw Holiday in Handcuffs, and Steve saw a Toy Story Christmas.
A very merry Toy Store.
Steve saw that little Frozen movie before Coco,
which I did see.
I know.
And these are both helmed by Mario Lopez and Jennifer. Wait,
they
no,
are
Melissa Joan Sweetheart. And
Helmed?
Directed them?
Yeah.
Oh no, they didn't.
Just our emotions were what they directed.
That outside voice was Sam Pixley of Three Wise fame. He is sitting on this podcast, playing on his phone right now,
And making corrections.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You have a mic there if you wanna come jump in and make corrections.
Is it on? It's right over here. Here you go. Mic?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay.
Let me just turn this stuff up. Say something.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Sam is hot.
He also has a working mic.
Yeah, that's true. So Charlie, we're going to be answering your questions about these movies. So just fire away.
Tyler, I want you to wait and Steve tell me about your movie.
Oh, okay. So this movie starts off with a clear rivalry between two toy stores. One is run by Melissa Joan Hart, and the other one is run by Mario Lopez. Through the course of the film, we find out that originally Melissa Joan Hart's store, who was owned by her father, was worked by both her father and Mario Lopez's uncle. But her father put in most of the seed money, so he put his name on it. But they were both working really hard there. So
how much of Mario Lopez's uncle's seed did he put in?
Oh, well, it's kind of hard to tell how much actually got on the store.
Okay, yeah, all right. I can
just
picture
take a black light to it,
yeah,
and you'll be able to see it.
But after a long time, he was working just as hard as her father, and thought that he deserved to be part
sure
known owner of the store.
Yeah, and
it caused a lot of tension, and he ended up getting a loan and opening up his own toy store a block down the street as kind of like a competitor, and then that rivalry was brought down to Melissa Joan Hart and Mario Lopez. And after that, a large toy chain competitor moves in surprisingly right before the holidays, and so they have to team up together to try and keep from both going out of business. And then, of course,
is it like Walmart or?
it's called Roy's Toys.
Oh, okay.
But it's basically like Toys R Us, like a really big chain toy store.
Gotcha.
And he just figures out that in their area, it's like a really good place to put in another store to really maximize market share, as he puts it. So basically, he buys a really large store, an old store, and then secretly converts it into his toy store, and then surprise grand opening like right before Christmas.
Gotcha. Wow. Tyler.
What a ride.
I feel like I've already seen it.
Well, my movie is about Jennifer. God damn it! Why do I keep saying that?
Jennifer Aniston?
Melissa Joan Hart. She is having to go to a family Christmas function, and they're all like, "Oh, and you're bringing your boyfriend, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, I am. It's fine." And they're all like, kind of pressuring, like, "Oh, maybe this is the one. Maybe you're finally gonna get married." And she hangs up the phone, and almost not that long after, her boyfriend comes in and breaks up with her. And she's like freaking out, and her mom calls again and is like, "Hey, where are you?" And she's like, "I'm at work." And she's like, "You were supposed to have already left, to come here." She was like, "Damn it."
Where does she work?
She's just like a barista.
Oh, gotcha.
And she was like,
just a barista.
But does she
Take
do like
that,
the cool cinnamon art
baristas.
on top of the coffee?
I can only assume as much.
Okay, good.
And then she kind of panics and sees Mario Lopez walk in and kidnaps him and takes him to
Pound Town.
yeah, which is where the cabin is that her parents are at.
Cabin in the Pound Town.
And takes him there and tells him like, and basically it says, "This is my boyfriend." You know, and
At any
they're
point,
kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Stop that.
The questions are for Charlie, I believe.
Charlie, you wanna?
Charlie
ask
can
that
ask those.
question?
Charlie can ask those questions if he's concerned. I'm just telling the general plot. I'm not going to give away details yet. And then it's about them spending time with the family, and also like you find out that she thinks that she's like the one that is not, like, she's the shitty child and the other kids are the perfect. But then it comes out that, oh, hey, everybody is hiding something from the parents. They all have their own issues and problems and stuff like that.
Is any of it like assault with a deadly weapon and
No.
kidnapping?
No, that is only Melissa Joan Hart that does that. I would assume you could add maybe attempted murder to that because she accidentally shoots that gun that almost hits him.
Right. Accidentally.
Yeah. And then at the end of the movie, he gets found by everybody, and then the truth comes out, and there's the whole wrap up stuff. And I don't know if you want me to, how many details you want me to go into just yet, but that's
well, don't spoil the ending because I do have this on Prime shipment, and it's arriving pretty soon. So
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to
No, I gotcha.
spoil anything. Or I could just watch it on YouTube like you probably did.
No, I was actually on the Freeform app, so I used my parents are some of those idiots that still pay for cable, so I used their login.
How stupid!
So I used their login to watch it for free.
I remember from the trailer that
That's impressive.
Clarissa says something about furry handcuffs.
Yes,
And is that with her parents?
I don't. Maybe. Oh yeah, there is a comment about furry handcuffs around her parents. I don't know. I don't think she's the one that makes the comment
But she
specifically.
goes,
Mario
how
Lopez.
embarrassing, right?
I remember Mario Lopez says
Yeah.
that he was handcuffed he was like,
Well,
and suddenly I'm in fuzzy handcuffs
there's-
being driven up
I mean,
here.
the
pretty
fuzzy handcuffs have a backstory. So I mean, don't think that they're just there.
I know, but
Is the backstory bondage?
I mean, no, not really. Kind of, I guess. I mean, do you want me to tell you
Sure.
how she gets them? So there's a stop at
She's a
a
police
gas
officer.
station, obviously to get gas. It's like, but it's kind of like the last gas station you can go to before getting to this secluded cabin. So it's kind of a hodunk gas station. Like not much. It's just the guy who owns it pretty much works there. Like that kind of thing. And she goes in there and to pay for gas and everything, and he kind of looks out and is like, "Hey, what's up with that guy you have tied to your the visor?" Because he's like bound by the visor and all that stuff, and she just says, "Oh, it's like a sex thing." Basically, is what she amounts it to, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And then as she's leaving, he runs out and is like, "Here, take these on the house," and then the fuzzy handcuffs. that apparently
Like,
they
those-
sell.
in packaging or not in
They
packaging?
were in packaging. He
Okay,
takes them
thank
out
God.
of packaging.
God,
'cause
I
Thank God.
apparently
I was
they
gonna say
sell
there's
them.
no way they sell that there, so whatever.
One-stop shop, baby.
Like, they're a little moist, but here,
I mean,
take them.
I mean, to be fair, in my movie, they buy security cameras at what appears to be a grocery store.
Uh,
Are you sure they just don't repurpose the ones from the grocery store bathroom?
No, she said
good old
$30
Chuck
from the
Berry.
bathroom.
Chuck Berry grocery store.
well, and I hear some things so you can tell that she's kind of a mess at the beginning of the movie because
Her hair.
well, first off, the beginning line of the movie is "I'm not crazy," said by her. The other thing is there's a scene where she goes to heat up some old Chinese food, and you know how Chinese food comes, like if you get the carryout, it's in that that decorated little box. She takes that, she puts it on top of her gas oven and starts to try to light the gas oven, and it doesn't light. So then she's like, "Oh, damn it!" and takes it, and so apparently she was going to attempt to heat it up just in the
Sounds like she's
container.
suicidal.
And then
This
later,
is sad now.
later she's on the way to work. And
she walks into traffic.
and she's driving, and there's like some traffic, and a guy's trying to like turn into the lane. So he's trying to. It's one of those situations where your lane is stopped, but the oncoming traffic lane, the guy's trying to turn left, and so she like backs up a little bit to let him squeeze through to turn left, and she's like, "Oh yeah, go ahead." And he's like, "Oh yeah, thanks." And he turns in front of her, and the lane next to her wasn't stopped, and a car hits her car, and the guy that she let in turns to her and goes, "You bitch."
Oh man, that's Tyler's knowing his audience here.
Damn it.
And Mario Lopez was planning to meet his girlfriend at the restaurant.
Don't blow your whole load.
No,
right
I'm not.
now.
I'm just
Okay.
saying. I'm just setting up some stuff. He was planning to meet his girlfriend there, and he was going to propose to her.
Wow, this is a real whirlwind
There's-
weekend, huh?
There's a line after she
Cocaine.
after she gets him that he says, "I'm a guy, and sooner or later I will overpower you." And
How ridiculous of him to say later, right? Am I right, boys?
and that she seems like a nice girl. Nothing a little lithium couldn't fix.
What? Okay.
Lithium is an antidepressant.
Yeah.
And that's enough for now, I guess.
I mean, it's for like legit crazy people.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's a very, very strong antidepressant.
All right, Steve. Just tell me something then to match up with that, and then I'll get into the rest of my questions.
Tell you something to. All right, let's see. Well, this movie has Tara Strong of various voice acting fame.
Of course.
And she's pretty crazy in this movie. She's really trying to hook up with Melissa Joan Hart's brother, and to the point where she's just stealing things from their store. So you find that out later, and she's like, "Yeah, I was hoping you'd catch me," and then, and I was like, "Wow, this girl is kind of nuts." But she saves some Christmas store stuff because they need some inventory, and she just like gives them back all the shit. It's quite a bit of that. Like, I don't even know how she stole it all, to be completely honest.
Okay. I'm going to get into my first question.
Let's go. Yeah.
So since you both have Mario Lopez in your movie,
Oh,
I
do
want
we?
you to replace
We were both
Melissa
given
Joan
Mario
Hart.
Lopez.
I want you to replace Melissa Joan Hart with Screech and tell me one scene that you think would play out a lot better.
This is one of those, this is so hard because clearly every scene would play out better.
Yeah, I mean, you got at least an hour and a half of stuff to go through in your
content.
mind.
Yeah, exactly. Steve, do you have something?
I'm trying to find the proper spot for it real quick.
Yeah, I got you.
And it has to be Screech kid form from Saved by the Bell.
Is there an
Yeah,
episode
not
where he's
from
a kid?
not from the new class when he's like an adult and still there.
Our celebrity weight loss challenge.
Oh, okay.
Is there or from him stabbing a guy?
Yeah. No, kid version, please.
Was there an episode where he's like a kid, or do you
So,
mean
I
Saved
mean,
by
like,
the Bell,
the
he's
very-
like
like-
14 or something.
Like,
Oh, is he really?
Well,
Yeah.
like back during Good Morning Miss Bliss when it was still in Indiana.
Yeah.
He was like 12.
Gotcha.
Don't you look at me that way, Sam.
Steve, do you have something?
I do. There is a scene at the very end. They're pretty much getting run out of business by by their competitor, and he offers Melissa Joan Hart a job, but she turns it down.
What kind of job?
To manage the new store that he brought in.
That's disappointing.
And he was gonna buy out her store and then give her a manager job to run that store since she knows everybody in the community and everything.
Sure.
But she turns it down because she hates that guy.
Exactly.
But Mario Lopez takes the job, and you find out later, and she thinks he's still gonna get hired even if they get run, because there's this thing going on. There's 3 council members. And there's a vote on whether or not he can stay in business because there's apparently some really old code that prevents businesses of a certain size from operating in the area. And it wasn't enforced from the store that he bought out, but because it's Melissa Joan Hart is like really into this whole thing, she finds the code and like gets them to enforce it. But the 3 council members end up voting. Well, 2 of them end up voting to allow him to stay, so he gets to stay. But after that, Mario Lopez is like really upset that he hurt Melissa Joan Hart, and so he says, "You're a no good 2-faced liar, and you can shove this job up your." And then like someone comes in and prevents him from getting too crass.
Okay.
But can you imagine just Screech in his like fidgety, like high pitched voice, just like yelling at someone and insulting them, like. When it's Mario Lopez, no one's going to try and fight Mario Lopez.
Yeah.
But if it's Screech, you're going to be like...
You wouldn't want to hurt that.
I'm going to beat the shit out of you, Screech.
So I think my scene that would work, the scene in my movie that would work the best is the one where Melissa Joan Hart pulls the gun on Mario Lopez and makes him get in the car. And it would be great because, it does lead up to the actor Screech's personal life later on when Dustin Diamond, when he stabs a man, he commits violence. So we know that he can pull it off. And being friends, it probably would be more shocking for Mario Lopez to have a gun be pulled on him.
Especially if he wasn't given that part of the script.
I'm pretty sure it's been fairly well established that they're not friends.
And this gun is definitely, I just want to throw this out there. It's a
is it like a musket?
Yeah, it is, and it is 100% like somebody read the Wikipedia article of Chekhov's gun and was like, all right, this is what we have to do. We literally have to put a gun and show it, and then later have somebody use it. But it's not the third act that it gets fired, so it's a little... They obviously didn't finish the page.
I would like to also establish, Steve, I'm pretty sure that Screech would be the one to continuously say, yeah, we're all friends, and then everybody else doesn't like it.
That's actually true.
All right.
Okay, next question. Tyler, you're first on this one.
Okay.
How will you make changes to your own life because of this movie? What did you learn, and how will you elevate yourself because of it?
Well, again, this is also a hard question to pinpoint specifics because, I mean, in that hour and 30 minutes, it's nothing but elevation, and I feel like I evolved as a person by experiencing it.
You already changed your entire self, so it's hard to even remember what changed.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also kind of hard because you look at somebody like Mario Lopez and he just looks so perfect that you feel like, what's the point, But
thanks, Tyler. I guess I'm off to kill myself.
I would say that, this movie has taught me to be more honest with my family, and be more open and not be afraid, to tell them to tell them that I'm not being successful in a certain area of my life and things like that.
Steve, same question.
So there's a really cool scene where once they start working together, they kind of start to resolve their differences a little bit. They realize that they're both kind of in the business for the same reason. And there's a cool moment where Mario Lopez asks Melissa Joan Hart why she likes the toy business so much. And she asks him, she's like, "What do you remember from when you were 8?" He's like, I don't know, not really much. He's like, "What was your favorite?"
Well, there was this time where me and a friend played doctor over.
But she asked him.
Mario, I was pretty fucking ate up last night. And then she dabs in the movie.
That's a good one.
No, but Mario Lopez, he's like, "I don't really remember much." He's like, "What was your favorite toy?" And he's like, the Hot Wheel figure 8 test track.
That Firebolt broom, the Nimbus 2001 that vibrates.
I like the idea that the script would say dabs in movie.
But she says, and that's the point. Like when you're a kid, when you're younger and as a kid, like you don't remember a whole lot, but there's that one toy that you will never forget, and like all the times that you played and had fun with your friends and whatever. And I thought that was kind of cool to think about. Like, you know, I don't remember much from when I was really young, but I still do remember some of the toys that I had, and that is kind of cool that it's something that you kind of take with you for the rest of your life. And so what I learned to take it a little slow. Not everything needs to be serious.
Well, thank you for a real answer, Steve.
You're welcome.
All right, Steve, here's your
My
question.
answer was real too.
Yes, it was, Tyler.
Dabs in movies.
This is for both of you as well. Craft.
Now, does dabs in movie? Is there a specific language that, like, does it mean
Farsi.
you dab in the language of movie, or do you, okay?
Steve, now Tyler's already got one. Well, you could technically say two, but I want you to craft a new Melissa Joan Hart tattoo from this movie. It has to be tribal themed.
Tribal themed.
It has to be a full face piece.
A full face.
As in our face covered by Melissa Joan Hart's, or
Yeah,
the tattoo is just her face.
Whatever you want, but it's got to be on your face. It could
Okay.
be both, but with themes of the movie, but also
Yeah.
in tribal style.
Yeah,
Appropriate as much as you can.
that's the goal in life, isn't it? Just
So-
take other people's
so it's
culture
going-
and make
it's
it
going
your
to
own.
It's going to be one of Melissa Joan Hart on one cheek, and one of Mario Lopez on the other. And when I make a fish face, they'll kiss.
Okay, what? Okay. That's gross. And it'll look like they're both about to tongue an asshole, which is your mouth.
That is a scene in the film.
Oh, okay. Now, if only I could guarantee that he's not lying, Tyler.
Yeah, if only.
No, that's definitely a lie.
So, shit, this is tough. Obviously, she would have the permed hair from the first half of the movie.
That was real rough.
Yeah, and I mean, it was on accident that her hair got permed.
I'm sure it
Oh,
was.
and Steve, I'll go back to you, but how was yours tribal?
Yeah,
Anyway.
I was wondering that too. I was hoping to make mine tribal and be like, and I win because, but it's gonna be her whole.
They're wearing grass skirts.
Okay.
It's gonna be her whole body, but it's not gonna be like huge. It's just gonna be on the side of my face, like Mike Tyson style. Mm-hmm. And
Is one of your eyes one of her eyes?
Steve, spoilers. No, she's in.
Is she leaning
she's
on your eye?
No,
all
no, no.
coy?
She's completely nude and she's playing bongos, and Matthew McConaughey is also there.
Why?
And then I got the tattoo. I don't know. This is fucking stupid. That's the best I can do right now. I'll stick with
That's
it.
fine.
Matthew McConaughey playing bongos in the nude joke.
Yeah, that's fine.
Top tier.
All right, Tyler.
Sam will drink to that.
This is my last direct question. And then the rest will be your guys' like
The rest I will
final
just
thoughts and everything, bring
imply
out.
questions.
Yeah. I'll just be like, it would be great if somebody told me about this.
Passively aggressively ask questions.
Yeah. What shocked you about this movie? What was unexpected? What did you see? It's like, oh, all right, that's actually kind of interesting, or that was kind of neat.
I mean, the things characters said were kind of shocking. Like they thought that the dad thought Melissa Joan Hart's character was a lesbian, and she said maybe she likes the innies, not the outies.
Oh God, Jesus, that's gross.
Classic. Classy.
Somebody asked Melissa Joan Hart if she slept with more than one man. I think
At a time?
there's she
Clarissa explores it all.
at one point the son comes out as gay, and then there's a fight between the parents later on,
And the son from him being gay?
and the dad turns to the son and says, "Aren't you glad you're gay?"
Because he got in a fight with the mom?
wife.
Yeah, because he had to fight with his wife.
Boom.
There
Good roast on the
also
mom.
the mom said they were like in this fight, and the mom said, "Well, maybe maybe then I wouldn't have, on our annual birthday sex, I wouldn't have to think of Clint Eastwood.
Ew.
which again was a little shocking.
Wait. Is it so he can make her day?
And then to top this all off, it was shocking to see Mario Lopez shirtless and just how cut that man is today.
Yeah.
Still.
It looks like his whole body is Botox, but they did it perfectly. Steve, you, or were you done, Tyler?
Yeah, I think I'm about done.
What was unexpected?
Unexpected. There was this bobsled race that is like a big part of like the kid. It's part of the kids' Christmas extravaganza sort of thing, that like they have a bobsled race every year. And this one kid's Melissa Joan Hart's son is really upset because he knows that this popular kid in school has a really good bobsled and is going to kill everybody. So that's how they kind of become friends. Mario Lopez and Melissa. He was like, no, when I was a kid, I won the race too, and everybody said it was impossible, and I'll help you out. I'll help you build your sled and get everything going.
People were telling him it was impossible?
Yeah, well, because...
Jesus, what assholes. No,
and
you can't do this, child. It's impossible.
and this was happening to this other kid, too. Like, everyone's like, there's no way you're going to beat him. that said multiple times. But he helps him out.
Because you're in a coma.
he helps him out. But one of my favorite scenes that I didn't expect was when they're coming together to fight, to kind of go against, since they're going to pool their inventory and resources and everything to fight this giant that's moving in. The giant store, not an actual giant.
Yeah,
that was for Tyler, but he's distracted now, so it's not a big deal.
Well, Sam's over there flexing, so
so when they have like a staff meeting with both of the staffs to try and okay, now you guys may hate the other ones, but we're gonna have to do this to try and stay in business. And then like it cuts to the workers and they're like, we don't care. You're like definitely projecting on us. like we're dating. We all hang out after school. It's fine. And they're like, oh, okay. I guess that's a good point. So it was just funny that like for once in one of these like weird rivalries that like the people who work there aren't also just as insane about the whole situation.
Yeah, like you automatic mob violence. Like,
yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah, it was just nice that I was like, okay, good. These are real human beings.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, Tyler.
There was a line that I thought was funny. The head councilman, who is the leader of he's not the leader, but he runs the bobsled race. He gets it ready. He's like, all right, guys. So on the count of 3, you guys are just gonna slide down the hill to the finish line. Any questions? No? Good. I would have been worried. Just like really talking down to these children.
And there are a lot of real bobsledders that take serious offense to that.
Yeah. At least 4 in Jamaica.
Tyler, what are some final thoughts?
Yeah, some final thoughts. I want to bring up, there's a scene in the movie where the police show up, obviously, to the not the gas station, the log cabin, and then the police burst into the house with their guns drawn and declare, "Just relax," which I thought was pretty humorous. And then the old lady who has been here kind of in the background the whole time comes out of nowhere
tomb
and yells, "I don't know who," this is while the cops are here. "I don't know who brought home the bacon, but I'm gonna fry it in a pan." And she has
she unloads with a machine gun.
Yeah, I was about to say that sounds like something you'd either say if you were sexually attracted to the cops and you were expecting them to be strippers, or your name was kill them.
I was about to say, or your name was Bugsby and you were wearing a fedora. And she had a pan and she starts like attacking them, and one of the people say
playfully or.
No, like attacking them. And then
they shoot her in the face.
I think it might be the dad or the mom says, "Don't worry, she's probably just having a Civil War flashback." Let's see. There was a point where the mom says to the dad, "Your tie's crooked," and he responds, "You tied it." Which I just thought was... I have written down here classic woo shower scene, which I'm assuming means that there was a shower scene where Anakin from The Phantom Menace yells, "Woo!" Walks in on...
Only option.
That wasn't the trailer.
Fair enough. So there gets to a point where he is able. So they get to the log cabin, and there's like no cell phones allowed. Like the mom's like, no, we don't allow any of this. And she before she lets him out of the car, she goes up there and is like, hey, my boyfriend's here, but he does this weird thing when he's like not super into being somewhere.
Everybody that he kidnapped him.
Yes, yeah. She's like, it's like part of his weird humor. So like, just laugh and like brush it off when he's like, oh, I got kidnapped, and so that's why they're all laughing at him when he's like,
okay.
He's like, she had me handcuffed with these bullets, and they're like, oh, you. But then he finally is able to get a hold of a phone. And he calls his
bludgeons the grandma to death.
Instead of calling 911, he calls his girlfriend,
of course,
and says like, "Hey, you need to get help. I'm in this area, kind of secluded. Like, you need to help find me and you know, rescue me." And then afterwards, Melissa Joan Hart figures she's like, "What? You were on the phone?" He's like, "Yeah, I was." And you know what? Like somebody's going to be coming to get me soon. And until then, I'm going to be the best boyfriend ever, and your parents are going to like fucking love me. So that
so
was just so,
her heart.
yeah, just so when I do get saved, they think you're that much more of a piece of shit because they're gonna like me so much. And I was like, damn, that's not.
You should have fake proposed to her and everything.
He did.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Steve.
He 100%.
I passed.
He 100% fake proposed to her, and it was great.
Did she get? She's so fucking crazy. She probably thought it was real, though. Did she?
She was kind of like, "What?" I mean, afterwards, she was like, "What's up with this? Like, do you just walk around with a wedding ring, engagement ring?" And he just goes, "Yeah." But there is a line in the movie I thought was a little ridiculous where Melissa Joan Hart exclaims, "I'm 27 years old. I can do what I want." And I just thought that was a little odd because she does not look 27 to me. And in fact, she was 31 at the filming of this movie. Yeah, got that age good.
Next week they're gonna restart filming Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
There was, and when the girlfriend goes to the police office to report, you know, everything that her boyfriend told her, she shows up and they're all like kind of partying. She's like, "Hey, excuse me, blah blah blah," and they're all like, "God damn it!" And you hear somebody go, "She's all yours, pal." And some guy walks up and goes, "Let me guess, domestic disturbance."
Wow.
It was her set reporting it?
Yeah.
And she goes, "No," and he goes, "Sure looks like it."
That's pretty good. And you know, I mean, I guess just as closing thoughts here, I honestly feel like Mario Lopez and Melissa Joan Hart were at the top of their chemistry in this movie, and really like
You have yet to see mine.
by the end of this movie, it really just felt like if they did this again, it would just feel tired and just wouldn't really they wouldn't be able to capture this lightning twice in a bottle.
All right, Steve, tell me about whether there's lightning or not in your bottle.
Wow. All right, I see how it is. Well, in mine,
First is worst, second's best. Boom.
during the bobsled scene, the kid who's supposed to be winning, he's not doing so hot, so he decides that he's going to ram the Melissa Joan Hart's son's bobsled off the mountain, to which he responds by braking, and of course he goes flying off himself to land in a snowbank, flies out of his bobsled, lands in a whole bunch of snow. It's
Okay.
death-defying.
Did he fall to his death?
He did not fall to his death because it was death-defying.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But basically,
That is what that means.
what ends up happening is Mario Lopez ends up using the money he's saved up before, because he was going to buy his childhood home and move back into it.
Okay.
And at the same time, Melissa Joan Hart's store, she has a loan out on her store, and she gets the Roy of Roy's Toys gets her extension taken away. So
Holy shit, Roy?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
fuck.
he gets the extension taken away, so she's gonna have to close up soon. So he ends up spending the money he saved up for his house to keep her store open, and he's just going to dissolve his store and kind of give all the business to her.
That'd take a while.
Yes. So that she has a chance to like continue on. But what ends up happening is the security cameras that they bought at the supermarket to try and catch the shoplifter.
Yeah.
Her brother, who is kind of an idiot, he put the cameras facing outward, so they end up showing a gas station outside, which is where Roy pays off one of the council members to go back on the thing that would prevent him from doing business in the town.
It's just like super high def footage that they can zoom in from across the street and everything.
Yes.
Yet there's still no footage of the plane hitting the Pentagon. Am I right, boys?
So they have this footage, and then it proves that that the vote was tampered with, and that he no longer is allowed to operate business in the area. So they kind of move him out, but then they decide to keep the store merging something that's happening. So they're now just like one toy store in town.
Okay.
And then, it fast forwards a couple years, and it shows them renewing their vows in the toy store.
Oh, how sweet.
Yes. They do counter the grand opening of the big toy store with a free pancake breakfast.
Oh, I mean, I would definitely go to that.
When they get the hot toy of the season, they don't have any business though, because Roy brings in basically the Disney actress who does her voice. He brings her in for a free concert. So they lose all their business. But it's really funny because her brother, who's the idiot, is like, "Man, where's everybody at?" And she's like, "I don't know." And he's like, "I don't know. I think John Wick 2 is on TV." So maybe they're all home watching that.
This movie just got finished being made last month. So.
And I'm pretty sure it's not everyone watching at home watching it. He's like, "No, John Wick 2.
It's a classic Christmas movie.
Yeah.
All right. And nobody has anything else?
Yeah, I think I'm good. Unless you had any other outstanding questions.
Well, I guess I could say...
No, they have to be outstanding.
Yeah, well, no, I think it's an outstanding one. Real quick, though. Let's make some pizzas real quick.
Oh, God.
Damn, I always forget. I always forget that this isn't Steve's thing and it's your thing. So a pizza with toppings on it. Oh, God. The absolute madman putting toppings on top of a pizza. It's going to be nothing but pineapple. Got him. No. It's going to be nothing but pineapple, and also which way is the right way for toilet paper to be put on.
What?
I'm just making a joke of the two things that the internet argues about the most.
Gotcha. I thought you meant that was a theme in your movie.
No.
Because it's a piece of shit.
I'm just stalling.
Gotcha. Steve, do you have something?
So for the meal that they have at the beginning, they all kind of eat at this place called Joe's Diner, and they all get the exact same thing pretty much every time, and it's pot roast, gravy, and mashed potatoes. So instead of like an herb garlicky crust, it'd be like kind of a roll crust, and then using gravy for the sauce with mashed potatoes and pot roast.
I'm sure that it tastes good, but it sounds terrible.
I was thinking about it. I was like, I'd eat this shit.
Mine's just going to be fuzzy handcuffs and a musket.
On your pizza.
On a pizza.
Mm-hmm.
What are you sending this to someone in jail so
then
they
the
can
base.
break out?
yeah, and then the sauce is going to be olive oil.
Oh, God.
Because there's a scene where they had to go get olive oil, and they go back to that same gas station, and apparently this dude sells olive oil. Because they're like, here it is, extra virgin olive oil. And they're like, I mean, what makes it extra virgin? And then there's some joke about it.
And he's like, I don't put my penis in it.
Don't buy the non-one.
But if you would like some of that.
Why is it so murky?
Because I put my penis in it. Do you pay attention?
I always wanted my olive oil with that extra little cheesy substance flavor in it.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
If your olive oil doesn't have something floating around in it, then it's not pure.
Yeah, I like it all unfiltered.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'd say let's wrap this up.
Yeah, same.
Obviously, I have to go with Tyler, Steve. Sorry.
No, yes.
It sounds like a much better movie.
No,
no. It doesn't sound like a much better movie. It sounds like the movie I'd rather probably watch.
I will say that pretty much as soon as Tyler said that Mario Lopez was like, I'm gonna make myself look super good so that when they find out that you kidnapped me, they're gonna treat you like a piece of shit for the rest of your life. I was like, damn it, there's no way I can come back from this.
Yeah, real thoughts. I mean, this movie was cheesy as fuck. You know, a classic ABC movie, but I did kind of enjoy myself there. Like, I was thinking about halfway through, I was like, man, I mean, this isn't that bad. Like, it's
That's like the 12 Dates of Christmas kind of
yeah,
thing. It's like,
probably. Sam, if you want to grab that mic, take it away from your butt for once.
Out.
That's where all of the good comments come out of, though.
That's where all the content is.
Yeah. Okay, good. So you mined it out. What do you got there for Rotten Tomatoes? Had Holiday and Handcuffs up there, didn't it?
Yes. Holiday and Handcuffs. Unfortunately, no tomato meter.
Bummer.
Currently unavailable. But the audience score is at 66%.
Oh, there you go.
Average rating of 3.7 out of 5. So not too bad.
Let's get some reviews.
Absolutely. Just scrolling down right here. We have somehow we have one critic review, although I guess one critic review does not merit a tomato.
Well, one critic review, not a tomato meter make.
All right, now this one's a little long, so bear with me.
Wow, it's 100%. 0%.
Here we go.
Is this a critic review or
This is
it
a critic. This is a critic review.
It's not
Watch
just a
out.
little. It's not just a little blurb.
No, it's a pretty long one. Give me a second.
Watch out, because the last review session we had
A
anti-Semitic
racist slur.
slurs.
Yeah.
Let's
riddled
just make
throughout
sure.
it.
Yeah.
Well, it was one, but
So what we've got here is
it was a riddle.
critic review. Older kids can take romantic comedies iffy stuff. 3 out of 5.
Oh, is that
Yes,
all? There's
see,
no.
the
Okay, I
build
get it.
up
But
of the
there's-
long joke.
There's multiple sentences in there, but there's clearly no punctuation.
Nope. Older kids can take romantic comedies iffy stuff.
So there's iffy stuff. Older kids can take it. It's a romantic.
My question is,
comedy.
what's the iffy?
Is there like a No Fear Shakespeare version of that I can read?
Old kids take comedy stuff.
Okay.
I don't get that reference.
Don't worry about it.
I mean, I guess it's all right since Sam did. Must be a Pixley thing.
What?
That
No Fear Shakespeare?
It's where
Yeah.
books-
If it's a Pixley thing, meaning I don't want to read this book for high school. Here's a book that's 10
of,
pages.
They did all the Shakespeare plays, and on the left side was the original text, and on the right side it was converted to just normal modern
Okay.
English, so you could just read the whole story
Okay.
like that.
All right. I mean, Shakespearean language is modern English, but okay. I'm pretty sure that is considered
is.
modern English.
They
It's
call
not.
that
It's not
modern?
Yes.
It's not Old English.
Okay,
'Cause
well,
I-
I'm
'cause-
using modern in
Yeah,
the
no, I
normal
know.
usage.
It's just I remember when I was in college, and I was in plays. The director would people would be like, "Oh, it's just non-modern," and the director would be like, "It is in modern English."
That's like, okay, I could
Yeah.
come up with some
It's a big
new,
English teacher
I
thing.
could come up with some new alloy and be like, this is new metal, and be like, well, that's not Linkin Park.
Are we doing just the
true.
Be like,
critic
well, it
review?
is a new
No.
metal.
You're gonna have to
No,
get
get
some
in
fan
there.
reviews.
So
then.
I've
Get
got
in
some.
there.
There's some pretty interesting fan reviews.
We've stalled, so you can
First,
you can
first of
vet
which,
'em.
this is the most curious one because I think it lends more questions than answers.
They all do.
All right, so here we go. Film 13 with 17 to go. First sentence.
No, I think that's because it's like part of the ABC like holiday
but that's
25
30
days
though.
till
25 days till Christmas. We're playing 17 films. So,
well the budget got cut. So
some of those are like Rudolph
Don't
and shit.
more?
yeah. This was a great, funny film until we get to the last 30 minutes, when the director felt he had to throw in the crap that plagues U.S. Hollywood movies and TV today. This movie could have been just as good to leave these parts out. A shame that anything that shows Christian values doesn't get the airtime that these type movies.
Tim Allen.
So it went from 5 stars to 2.5.
Wow.
bummer. That is very. That's like recently I saw a Reddit comment that said Luke in The Last Jedi, his story was ruined by feminism.
I mean, you can dislike greatly what happened to Luke, but
And so like say like it's vague enough where you're just like,
Well, it's ruined
no,
because
I'm
he sexually assaulted that sea cow.
yeah. It's. I mean, that saying like they ruined it in the last 30 minutes because they didn't like because they got rid of Christian values. It's like what happened? I don't know.
Wait, they didn't get rid of Christian values as much as they throw in the crap that pledges U.S. Hollywood movies and TV today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Legitimately don't. I mean,
Yeah, whatever.
All right, so we've got
well, if
two
they
more.
don't pledge it, they're not going to get that tote bag.
it's true.
Good point. 2 more here.
Yeah, let's hear 'em.
Enjoyed, Totally unrealistic, of course, but a nice feel-good Christmas movie. Had a bit more to, if than, the usual TV movie. More defined characters and a good story. Quite funny, too, and relatable with the family stuff. Melissa is always very likable and not afraid to be unglamorous at times. That perm at the beginning, ouch. It's not the best Christmas movie I ever saw, but if it's a happy ending Christmas story you want, this is a good one. 4 out of 5.
She said this movie's really fun and all this stuff, but she said the characters are mortifying?
Relatable.
Relatably mortifying.
Somebody needs to have somebody watch this reviewer
And
for at least
final
the next 24 hours.
final review. It delivers what it promises. 1.5 stars.
I mean, it is a holiday.
Those
and there
are my
handcuffs.
favorites.
As if you are handcuffed.
Steve, what did you think of your movie?
The green screening was just rough.
I remember it from the trailer.
There was the bobsledding was some severe rough green screening. Also, there's no chance that the kid would have been able to win this bobsled race. Like, the kid that's supposed to win, he has, like, one of those, like, professional-looking bobsleds. It's, like, super sleek. His is essentially a box. And I was like, there's no way that that's going to do any, it's a box, and then, like, the cockpit-type area, like, the seating area, around his back, there's like this extra area that raises up, and I was like, that's just gonna catch the air. Like, he's not gonna go anywhere. So somehow he still wins, and I was like, this is incredibly unbelievable. That's where I drew the line in this film.
That's why everybody told him it was impossible for the.
Yeah. No, this movie was incredibly forgettable. Like, nothing was really that great. The best part was just me getting to stare at Tara Strong because she's beautiful. But that was, even that, she was, like, super crazy in this movie, and I was like, this is weird that she's...
And also, I mean, you do that on your free time.
Yes.
In real life.
Little does Tara Strong know.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Sorry, I blew up your spot. That
that's
restraining order might be coming in soon.
well,
she listens.
the second one. No,
Another 100 feet?
They don't stack, though, so it's okay. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
well, this one's only 75. I'm fine. No, it was just incredibly boring. Like, it made no sense. Like, it was just very boring and dull, and there wasn't, like, any chemistry between the characters.
So you'd never recommend it as, like, a bad watch?
No.
Okay. So I think I picked correctly.
Oh, you definitely picked correctly. It was one of those movies where I'm sure we've all done this, where we're like, how much do I have left? And you, like, scroll over to see where the time's at, and you're like, oh, Jesus. Like, I really thought we were wrapping this one up already.
Did you watch yours on YouTube?
No, I watched it on, like, 1, 2, 3 movies again. Because on YouTube, it was in, like, the corner. But
then you get the cool spinning star feel.
No, this was just like a still shot of Presents.
My movie on YouTube. My movie on YouTube. It's like somebody took it and made it like 50%. The opacity was like at 50%, and then they put like this yellow image with it that had like dots all over it, and it was zoomed in. And I was like, okay, no, I'm not watching this. And luckily I was able to find it on Freeform. But still, I guess the worst hit is when I had to buy Paul Blart 2 for this fucking podcast.
You're welcome.
Sam, what do you got over there? So I looked him up, so I know this, but Rotten Tomatoes had 0 reviews. So I had to pull up IMDb.
It's too fresh.
Yeah, exactly. So I had to pull up IMDb for Sam to...
We've got 2 reviews for IMDb, which give it a grand total of 9 out of 10.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
Let's see.
Because only people that care enough about this movie are the people who enjoyed it to, like, go and say anything about it.
To actually know about this movie, you have to have seen it before you could probably Google it. Right. Let's see. So, first review.
It did take me a few... attempts at Googling because I still did not remember the name.
And because they changed the name of the movie right before it was released. Even the stars, when they were Instagramming, like, just wrapped up Christmas hours, and the movie's very, very Toy Story.
That's a way better name.
That's what I said last
because
time.
the hours they're open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holiday hours.
I had to Google holiday toy movie, toy store movie, and it was like the first thing that came up.
And you didn't put in Melissa Joan Hart or Mario Lopez.
Yeah, that would totally skewer his search results too far to
exactly.
other stuff.
All right, let's rip through these then real quick.
Yes.
Loved the movie. but not so much the casting of Brian Dennehy with Beth Broderick, who's 20 years his junior. Too noticeable an age gap for a couple who were supposedly married at the end of the show. 8 out of 10.
That was a plot that I just completely ignored.
Well, not to this reviewer.
It's Melissa Joan Hart's mother and the guy who runs the diner kind of get together because he basically was like, hey, you teach piano, right? I want to play piano at my niece's wedding. And then like halfway through the movie, he's like, I don't have a niece. I was just doing that so I could bang you.
Was there a joke about tickling ivories?
No.
Oh,
If he said,
You think I wouldn't have had
that's
that
a
one?
large misstep.
Sam, these are the writers that decided Christmas Hours was a worse title to a holiday toy.
a very merry Toy Story.
But also it was nice to have the Beth Broderick and Melissa Joan Hart reunion after Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah. Did he say so I could bang you?
You know.
What did he say? Get up in it.
She was like, you don't have a piano. He was like, I don't have a niece. And then he was like, but I don't regret any of the money I spent on those lessons. And then she was like, oh, you. And I was like, no, he just lied to you about having a person in his life.
Because during those lessons he learned how to love.
This man knew how to love.
One last review.
Yes, yeah.
That we'll throw. And I'm only going to read half of it.
Okay, good.
Because the rest is just anti-Semitic.
First off, there were no reviews for A Very Merry Christmas or Toy Store.
Oh, so this is basically like him saying first. Him or her.
I saw the low rating of 5.6 and no review. But with Mario Lopez and Melissa Joan Hart, I thought I'd at least give it a look. But after the first 10 minutes, I wanted to continue. It looks cute, and the actors were all so good in their roles. Brian Dennehy. That's always good.
Who is Brian Dennehy?
He's the kid who played Dewey on Malcolm in the Middle.
No, you'd know Brian Dennehy if you saw him. Like I didn't know I didn't know his name, but I knew the guy.
10 out of 10. So keep in mind the difference in this movie being 100% to 80% is whether or not you're on the Brian Dennehy train.
Yeah, he was Dewey, and he was in 12 Angry Men.
And he was in that show with the janitor from Scrubs, that sitcom.
Yeah. In
A
the
Very
middle.
Merry Toy Story?
Yeah.
Brian Dennehy was actually like the only person that seemed like they were acting in this movie. Like everybody else was just
so natural,
so tired and like delivering lines. But he actually like
tired because they had to work craft services and act.
That's probably true. But he was the only one that actually seemed like a legitimate actor acting in this film. Everybody else was just like, well, this is a paycheck.
That's all right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up another episode of Movie Versus.
Wrap up because Christmas and presents.
Exactly.
Christmas will already be over.
Yeah, exactly. So, Steve, what do we got? No, well, Sam, do you have any? You don't have anything that you want people to know about, do you?
Nah.
Steve, what do we got?
Okay, so I guess you can reach us on all social medias at Movie Versus Podcast. So that's at Movie Podcast or Movie Versus Podcast. Wow.
At Movie Podcast.
movie Versus
Sure,
Podcast.
somebody's got it.
At gmail.com. At Movie Versus Podcast on Twitter. At Movie Versus Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. And then there's the old Three Wise Media.
Yes.
Beyond the Blast Doors, our Star Wars podcast, which you guys might still want to check out if you're still on that Star Wars train. Critical Misadventure, the D&D podcast.
Yeah.
Good, Bad, or Bad, the video cast that pairs up with Brian's other project, This Film is Lit.
Yeah, and Sam, you were actually on the last two episodes of This Film is Lit, weren't you?
I was.
It was a Last Jedi specific episode,
Yeah.
and then I'm up at Christmas Carol.
Yeah, I really brought the thunder.
I'm starting them up at Christmas Carol because I love that movie, and I was shocked that you had never seen it before.
I don't get the Muppets.
Yeah, you said that, and I was like, what's not to get?
The only other thing that I don't get, quick amendment, I'm going to have to side with the 8 out of 10 because Brian Dennehy and Beth Broderick, the age gap is severe.
What were we talking
Wait, were those
about?
those pictures that you were looking at?
She is old.
3-4
he
decades.
Is post-mortem.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, then he still is the best actor.
And he is spitting game.
They straight weekend at Bernie's him, and he still
Tickle them ivories, Brian.
Brian.
I'd love to see the puppeteer.
Oh, Brian's
Denny,
on. Okay,
the
okay,
puppeteer
yeah.
in that bedroom scene.
And now, do you get the Muppets? All right, so if you want to hear more of Sam's voice, go ahead and check out the last 2 episodes of This Film Is Lit.
And finally, thanks to Scott Blackwell for our logo and Jeremy Lamb for the theme song.
Yeah, and also Andy Wisman for the photos that are just now they're up on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. So go check those out.
Well, not all the ones we took.
That's true. Yeah, I mean some of them can't be shown to the public.
Not for free.
Exactly.
And we're just waiting for my glamour shots back.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Movie Versus is a production of Three Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.